Now, first, we start with new details in the 40-year-old cold case that has finally been closed.
Yeah, 2 children brutally murdered back in 1981, and now, 42 years later, detectives say they know who killed the Alexander siblings.
Welcome back to True Crime 24. Subscribe to the channel for daily true crime updates. An Arkansas father named as a suspect for brutally murdering his 2 kids with a butter knife 42 years ago. Police have named a suspect in a 42-year-old cold case involving the grisly death of 2 siblings, as well as the sexual assault of one of those victims. On October 12th, Texarkana, Arkansas Police Chief Michael Cram announced in a press conference that investigators have identified Weldon Alexander as the killer of a 1981 fatal stabbings of 14-year-old Karen Alexander and her brother, 13-year-old Gordon Alexander. The investigation began when Weldon Alexander returned home from work on April 8, 1981 at approximately 7:15 in the morning, when he claimed he saw his screen and front doors slightly opened. He said he walked inside and found Gordon deceased in the kitchen and thought his daughter might still be alive on her bed near the living room area. Weldon reportedly removed a butter knife from Karen's body and put it on a shelf. A statement from the police department says officers arrived at the scene and declared Gordon deceased, but Karen remained alive. She sustained major sharp force injuries to her body and was transported to a hospital for care. KTAL KMSS TV reports Karen was in a coma for 3 days before she died. Karen and Gordon's mother was reportedly in the same hospital at the time as the patients for mental health issues. In 1993, serial killer Henry Lee Lucas, also known as the Confession Killer, reportedly claimed he killed the Alexander siblings. Police, however, did not arrest or charge him due to a lack of evidence. Captain Calvin Seward worked on the case in the Criminal Investigations Division, but the case eventually went cold. He retired from the department in 2004, then 18 years later from the U.S. Marshals. In February 2022, he reopened the case and submitted new DNA samples from people named in the case to the Combined DNA Indexing System, or coldest, to see if it could yield any results. Seward, Dr. Todd Steffi, a forensic criminologist, and Kelly Dixon, a DNA scientist at the Arkansas State Crime Lab, took DNA from Karen and Gordon's fingernails and compared it to the DNA evidence at the scene. Samples taken from the siblings showed traces of copper, zinc, fibers, and other materials that were often used at Weldon's workplace. According to Texarkana police, investigators found Weldon's semen in Karen's bed cover. The investigation revealed that Karen had been sexually assaulted 48 to 72 hours before her death. Seward said in the press conference Karen had most likely been assaulted for about 6 months leading up to her death. Investigators determined both children had been stabbed the night April 7th at around 11 p.m. before Weldon left for his work shift. The 2 teens were reportedly still wearing the same clothes they had on as of April 7th. Police also said the weapon used was considered a weapon of opportunity, a butter knife likely from the kitchen of the Alexander home. There was no DNA from anyone outside of the home. Seward and Steffi wrote a probable cause affidavit naming Weldon Alexander as a suspect and presented the case to the Millick County prosecuting attorney Connie Mitchell. She asserts that Weldon Alexander is the sole viable suspect in the murders of Gordon and Karen Alexander, and that she believes probable cause exists for the issuance of an arrest warrant for 2 counts of capital murder. Weldon, however, died in 2014. Cram, the chief of police, said, "It is our hope that the friends and remaining family of Gordon and Karen Alexander may find some peace in knowing that the scientific and circumstantial evidence has been revealed sufficient to resolve this 42-year-old case."